Aloha, good people of the world. My name is Quetzal, and I'm so grateful for another day of life. Today, really reflecting on the power of water and its beautiful example of flow. We hear all this go with the flow and trust the flow and be in the flow, and actually, there's a lot of science behind it too, the flow state. And there's a lot of truth behind it too, if you've experienced this. And the beauty of it is it can be experienced in any discipline. Athletes experience it, artists experience it, doctors experience it. It's really anytime you can get into a state of flow where you're not thinking, where you're not analyzing so much, right? And so the beauty of flow is that you trust. You're so in the moment that you're not worried about what am I going to say 10 seconds from now, right? How am I going to respond in an hour? There's none of that, and everything is focused. All your energy is focused in this moment, right? So flow will get you where you need to go, right? That's the beauty of alignment. That's the beauty of being where you're supposed to be. And allowing the flow to take you there is part of that practice. It's allowing your higher part, your higher self to guide you, to take you, to lead you on where you need to be. So trust the flow and listen, because you're constantly being given messages, you're constantly being given signals for your flow, for your own unique flow. And you can copy somebody's flow, but it won't be as unique, as special, as authentic an expression as if you were doing your own flow. So it's really a no-brainer of why you would want to be in flow. And no-brainer is the perfect metaphor, because you really are not using your brain. You're allowing your heart to lead the way. You're allowing life to kind of dance with you, and you're inviting life to dance with you. I hope the audio is sounding okay here. I am literally right here next to these beautiful waters, and as I continue this journey, as I flow with my life, with my love, with my higher self, I can see how this changes people, right? It changes you because you're not resisting. And so much of what we've grown up with is resistance, right? It's be somebody and do something that is not natural to you, to compensate, to look good, for societal reasons. We're evolving. And flow can be frightening to some because it does involve letting go of who you think you are. It does involve accepting that maybe there are other ways to do it, and there are other parts of you that you have either suppressed or you didn't know existed, right? So this could be a very exciting moment, an exciting chapter to learn more about yourself, right? And everything I preach and I practice will always be designed to get me or you closer to truth, closer to what is real. So if any of this doesn't align, if anything anybody tells you doesn't sit right with your heart, then you let it go, right? But if it does feel right, if it does feel intriguing, if it does feel exciting, then follow it, right? Jump in the river, jump in the water, and learn to swim, and learn to float, and learn to perceive where the current is going, right? If the current's going this way and you're like, no, I want to go that way, well, have fun, right? And we'll see you later. Because there is this larger force, this larger flow that is always at play, has always been at play, will always be at play, way long you and I are done here. So it takes a moment of just intuition, authenticity, and allowing what is to be, listening, feeling, and not allowing distractions to get in our way, because that's another thing we all have to deal with, is distractions, right? And distractions are by definition obstacles to the flow, right? Distractions, confusions, illusions, so much happening, so much noise, right? Wanting your attention. These things stifle creativity and they block the flow, okay? So becoming mindful, becoming very intentional with our energy, becoming very intentional with our time, so that we can be where we want to be, doing what we want to do. That's really how I've designed my life, is I want to be doing the things I want to be doing as often as possible, and not doing what I don't want to be doing. And of course, the moment you decide that, it's a different life, right? Because now you're having to work for yourself and you're having to do more for you. And that's beautiful, right? That's part of why we're doing this. It's to be more me. It's to be more myself. It's for us to be more, for you to be more you, for each one of us to be more of ourselves. And in that choice, right? In that choice, there is a level of freedom that comes with it, right? You are free, even if the world tells you otherwise, right? Even if society wants to tell you, no, you still have to do this and pay taxes and pay rent and, give us our share. Like, yeah, that's fine. And that's all, I think it was Alan Watts or somebody who talked about, you pay Caesar, you give Caesar what Caesar needs, and Caesar is empire, right? It's the government, it's the authorities that try to impose themselves over people, right? You give them that's their domain, but you are not bound to anything, any one ruler, right? If anything, you are only connected to God. You're connected to Source. You're connected to truth. And no one human, no one being, I don't care how powerful this being is in the universe, no one being is greater than God. And you, by nature, are a creation of God. You're an extension of God. So, end of argument, At least from where I'm standing, there wasn't even an argument, because flow is alignment. Flow is being who you are, right? It's accepting who I am. It's accepting who I am, and I am that I am. So are you, right? How fun. How exciting. And living from this state, right? You're actually no longer as human. You're much more magic. You're much more mystic. You're much more in the flow. You are the flow, right? You dissolve the separation between self and object, or self and dance, self and art, self and work. And you come back, you bridge that contrast, right? That I'm here doing this thing, but rather it's just this thing is being done. right? I could sit here and say I am filming a video, but the video is happening, you know, and I got called to do this and you got called to listen, and we are sharing something magical through space and time somehow. And in that space, we unite, we find each other, right? We unify. That's why we love music and art and expression, because it's out of time, it's atemporal. Sure, you need time for segments, but it's really, it's gone, you know, it happens and then it's gone. And that is a deeper understanding of what we are and what this nature is. Sneeze. Come later. So accept it, you know, if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Everything in its right time, always. And from there, it's all good. It's all good. You're good, we're good. And it really gets to be a lot of fun, a lot of enjoyment, right? That's why I came here. Why did you come here? Let me know down below. I came to enjoy, I came to be in flow, I came to create beauty. I came to share and receive. I would love to hear why you are here. If you've made it down, if you've made it this far, you are an OG. You are blessed. You are in the flow already. So go out there, continue your beautiful life. Flow. Be in the flow. Be here now. Trust. And allow everything to come to you, baby. You're divinely guided. You're protected. You are an extension of Source. Everything comes to you easily. And so it is.